Good morning. I'm ready for my close-up. I'm ready for my close-up. I'm ready for my close-up. So continuing on, last Healing from My Past video was kind of like the treacherous, tumultuous ending of my my most intense relationship. And it was one that included abuse and a lot of bad things, because it was not where I was supposed to be, to say the least. And I chose to be there anyway. But anyway. So I had started reading the Bible. I started coming back to God, and which was a really big deal, because this is the first time in a long time. This is 2019. This is like the first time in like over 10 years that I was serious about God. Yeah. It's a really big deal. Really big deal. And nothing could stop that. That's a testimony right there that even though I was in a really, really crazy place and that there were, I don't know, let's just say there definitely seemed to be demonic forces at work in my nearby surroundings. Those demonic forces could not stop my return to Christ and return to God. So, like I said in the last video, I got away from where I was living with this lady. I say lady, that's a very nice term. But it was really rough. And so I left out of there and took as much stuff as I could, but I had a lot of stuff there still, and I had to come back and get my belongings, right? And I was so scared and so dreading it, and I was living with my dad. I was going to his church. And I opened up to his pastor, who was now my pastor, because that's the church I was going to. And he just knew. He knew there was stuff going on with me in my life. He knew, and he would not let me just keep on going. He wouldn't let me keep suffering. So he wanted to talk to me and make sure that I was okay and all these things, because he is an awesome guy. Just an amazing, awesome guy. Man of God, right? And so I confided in him, and he said, I was telling him about being scared to go up there and get my stuff. He was like, do you need someone to go with you? And because I'll go with you. And he's like, I'll go with you. We have people who can go with you and everything. And I was just like so taken back by the kindness, the generosity, and everything, and just at a loss because of how many wonderful things were happening to me, and the outpouring of God's love in my life at the time, This truck is steady dropping stones left and right out of the back of it. Like, that's not even cool. I gotta get away from this dude. There's a freaking dump truck dropping stones right out the back. That's ridiculous. Anyway. Dang, my car sounded nice just then. Never make it do that, really. It sounded pretty smooth, not gonna lie. And that's my car right there, yeah. And I told him, I was like, no, it's okay. I was like, I'm gonna just do it. I didn't want anything to be, I didn't want to bring anyone else into the situation, because I didn't want to aggravate. I did not want to stir anything. I wanted to make it as clean as possible. Go, get out, get home. Period. he's like, all right. He's like, well, we're gonna be praying for you, and stuff like that. And it was so reassuring. I knew it. I knew he meant it, right? He meant it, and that was true. They were gonna be praying for me. And here's the big spiritual thing that happened to me on my way to her house. Again, this was a long drive. This was like a 2-hour drive from where I was staying. I was on the safe side, my home side of the state, with my dad and family, where I felt safe, protected, and nothing to worry about. And now I had to drive all the way over to the other side, to where we used to live, where she was living, and where I used to live as well, to get my belongings. And I was pretty scared. I was pretty scared because I didn't know what to expect. I just had this feeling from the adversary, from the devil, that there is no clean getaway. It was a feeling that said, you're going to try to get your stuff and get out of there, but I just had this fear that like something bad was going to happen, or that like the devil was going to like try to do something and make it so that I couldn't get my stuff, or cause me to be, I don't know, whatever stuff. Like I felt that she was very capable of doing a lot of crazy things, and I was really afraid of what was going to happen. And so, but I knew I needed to do it. But I also felt God protecting me. I felt their prayers, right? And so I'm on my way there. I'm driving, right? And I'm getting closer and closer and closer. And I'm finally to the point where I am so close to her house that I can just feel like feelings like that. And I saw something. I don't know how to say this. I saw on the side of the road that I was driving all the way down the sides of the road. On this side of the road, as far as I could see. On this side of the road, as far as I could see. I'm just driving down this little road, getting closer and closer to her house. And I see these angels on the side of the road. And they're so huge. They're so tall. They're so strong. It's like, how in the Lord of the Rings you saw those really big statues? They were like that. They were probably 40 or 50 feet tall a piece. I'm talking standing like a statue, standing at attention salute, standing with a sword, ready. Angels on my right, angels on my left. And I mean, you don't have to believe me, but that's what I saw. And they were there. And I was protected. And I got a message from God saying, it is okay. It's going to be okay. You're my son, and I love you, and I'm going to protect you. And you don't have anything to worry about. It's going to be okay. And you don't have to worry anymore. You're being taken care of. You're being protected. And so, needless to say, that was really encouraging, to say the least. And I just felt like I was like, okay. I was like, okay, let's go. What's there to worry about? And thinking of all the verses and all the different thoughts, like, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. All the wonderful sentiments, verses, and mentalities that are in the scriptures that teach us about being protected, I felt them. I felt them all. I felt completely protected. At the same time, there was a practicality of, yes, I am actually still going to this place physically, and I'm going to be walking on this property and dealing with her and everything to get my stuff, and she knew I was coming. So there still was the whole having to do it, the actual doing it part. But I didn't have anything to worry about after all. This dude is, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing, bro? Pulling out in front of people. And so I went there, and I got there, and I went up. You're going to go all the way up? What are you doing? Where are you going to stop, bro? Where are you going to stop? Are you going all the way up or what? You're going all the way up? Okay, that's what I need to know, bro. I need to know what you're doing so I can make my move, bro. So, let's see. I get to her house, and I go up and knock on the door. And I'm trying to remember if she opened the door or not. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember if I just went in. I think I just went in because I had told her I was there, and she knew I was there. And despite all the insanity between the two of us, the abuse, the whatever, despite the insanity between us, there was still a very strong level of closeness between the two of us. A closeness of our hearts, basically, which was really powerful. But still, when you know you got to get out, you have to get out. And so that's what I was doing, right? And so I went in the house. It was unlocked or whatever. She was basically like, yeah, it's unlocked when you get here. Just come on in, whatever. I'm trying to remember how this went because I remember seeing her for the first time in a long time. I'm trying to remember actually how this went because I may have gone back twice. I went back one main time, and anyway, there was one time where I went back to get my stuff and she was in her bedroom, and I remember knocking on the door and her opening the door and coming out and just like looking at her and just feeling like, oh my gosh, she looked so like decrepit, basically, morbidly decrepit, basically. Like she was shrunken. I had been away from her for a while, and this was me seeing her again after all this fear and everything, and now I'm seeing her, and I remember looking at her and being like, I have nothing to fear. And just being like, I feel sorry for her. I'm sorry for her. And, anyway, so at this point, I'm getting that might not have been this time. It could have been another time. But when I got there the first time to get all my stuff, I was on such a mission to get all my stuff. I was so matter of fact, just so like business like. I hate saying that like that in this context, but it's so business like. Just I am just here to get my stuff. I am going to avoid all complication, all confrontation, all contention. I'm going to avoid it all. I'm simply going to get my stuff, put it in my car, and that's it. I am so determined to just get my stuff and get out of there, and for there to be nothing else. No strings attached. No confusing. Not letting her put her hooks in me, so to speak. Nothing like that. And I had a lot of stuff out inside the shed, and I was going across the yard, carrying it back and forth to the shed, and she was just kind of watching me and looking at me. And there's a level of her that didn't understand. Like, she kind of felt, like, confused, I could tell. And I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, I do not have time to buy into anything. I cannot sit here and try to deal with your feelings or any of this. Because the truth is, this has been such a horrible experience, and there has been so many astronomically horrible times here with her, and while I'm with her in her presence, with you, and I can't do anything besides get my stuff and get out of here, because I know that I just know better. You know what I mean? I just know better. And I think in a lot of ways the Spirit was kind of telling me that it was okay. It was okay to talk to her. It was okay to kind of have a heart-to-heart level conversation. But at the same time, I was just like, I was so scared and nervous and just worried and frustrated and like seeking for to get out of there. And I guess in a way I was still angry at her, and I guess in a way I don't know, this sounds horrible, this word's coming and I don't know how true it is, but I guess in a way I wanted revenge. And my revenge was to show her that I was so done and that I needed to leave and that I had no remorse about leaving. But like I said before, it was just, I don't know, there was so much craziness and just frustration and everything. Well, anyway, and so at this time, actually, I think I may just be imagining some of these things about how she was, but I remember her kind of watching me, and I was just carrying totes back and forth across the yard to the van to put in there or into my car or whatever. And she was just watching me, because it was like there's nothing going on there. There's like never anything going on there. And so this is what's going on. So she's there. She's just like watching me. And I remember the experience I had with the angels on the way, seeing the angels on the side of the road in the spirit, or just seeing them in my mind, but imagining them or seeing them like that. And it being separate from myself, not my imagination, but seeing something that was actually there. It was given to me to see those. And then I had a thought, because I was kind of trying to make sense of things while I was there at her house getting my stuff. Again, because I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to get involved in anything. I didn't want to get into crazy territory. You know, I didn't want to go down any bad roads, right? I was just trying to look out for myself and get through it and get out of there and just be done. And this chapter, get away, because it had been so crazy, and it could start so innocently or seemingly normal or okay, but then this bad stuff or whatever would kind of come out of nowhere. So I was just like, I need to get out of here. But in a moment, I asked for some clarity from God, basically, and was like, can you show me something that will help me see what's going on here clearly, so that I can make sense of what's going on here? In other words, can you help protect me against deception, and can you help me to see what's actually going on here? Please help me to have the clarity of sight to see what's actually going on here. Please help me to, please remind me of what I'm doing and why, and all these things like that. It's just crazy. You have to ask these things, because sometimes you're in situations or places where it's just like so crazy. And so I asked that, and I prayed that as I was walking across the yard carrying things. And I looked down at the ground, and like in the spirit, I could see in my spiritual eyes, basically, I saw this vision. And this would really throw someone off. This could make someone jump out of their skin. Don't be afraid. But for whatever reason, it didn't scare me. It was just comforting, actually. It was revealing, but comforting. I looked on the ground across the yard, from her shed all the way across the front of the yard to where my car was parked in front of her house, where I was walking the path back and forth. I look on the ground, and all I see in the spirit was snakes everywhere on the ground, everywhere, like She's like, the whole ground is made up of snakes. The whole ground made up of snakes, you know? And I was just like, bro, you know, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, of course. Of course. Thank you. Thank you so much, Father, for showing me that. But was it a problem? Was I afraid of them? Was it a threat? Right? Was it a threat? Were these snakes that I was walking on, were these snakes a problem? Were they a threat? No, they weren't. And I had the ability to walk on them with no problem. It wasn't like one's going to pop up and go and try to bite me. I guess that could happen if I stopped and just stood there. But I kept walking. I had the power to walk on these snakes. Does that make sense? Symbolism, treading on your enemy, crushing the snake's head. I was protected. That's my point. And I was shown again, and it was validated to me again, the place that I was leaving, just how bad it was, what I was dealing with, what I had gone through was not imaginary. It was real. And it just validated. Because sometimes you can go through something and then you wonder later, you're like, did that really happen? Was I just imagining things, you know? Did that really happen? No, it did happen. That's the whole thing. It did happen. It was real. It is real. That kind of thing. And I just remember going, all right. Thanks, God. Thanks a lot. You know, thanks for showing me that. Yep, that's all I needed. Thank you. Just kept walking, kept getting my stuff and everything, and finally got it all into the car. And I don't even know what I said to her. I don't even know if I said, normally I would say thank you, goodbye, or something like that. But there was no, like, thank you, goodbye. It was like, kind of confirmation, like, okay, I've got everything. I think I've got everything, you know, so, see ya. Like saying see ya, but without seeing ya. See ya without meaning it, like, not meaning, like, I will see you again, but see ya, like, trying to be, like, the most detached form of communication possible to get out of there. I got out of there intact, in one piece, with no problems. And I got home, and yeah, time passed, and a lot of time passed before I got the divorce and got it finalized and everything, but I did. And yeah, crazy times, crazy times, to say the least. Crazy times. And I ended up seeing her again in the divorce proceedings at the court. And she looked bad. She looked rough. And I felt bad. I felt rough for her. I felt sad for her. I still feel sad for her because I don't feel like there's a lot going on in her life that's good. I don't feel like there's a lot of good things going on for her. And I'm sorry about that. I'm not saying it's my fault, but I'm just saying that I'm sorry that that's the way it is. But it's better that we don't communicate. It's better that we're separate from one another. And, yeah. Really, really crazy. Really, really crazy. We got really, really close. There was horrible things that happened. And then the necessity to be apart and as far away as possible from each other, basically. So, that's my healing from the past story. This covers so much, honestly. There's not a lot more to talk about as far as healing from the past. I will continue because there are other things to talk about, but this covers the main crazy stuff. I still got stuff to deal with. I mean, stuff to cover with my crazy ex-stepdad. But all in all, this is where things got better for me. And they stayed better. They have stayed better. And it's because, yeah. And so, yeah, I'm extremely thankful. So I'm in the good place now. I'm in the good place. I'm in the no worries. I'm in the no worries zone. You know what I mean? Comparatively speaking to these crazy times and crazy things that I went through. I'm on the covenant path. I'm baptized. I'm endowed. I'm a holder of the priesthood. I am blessed. I have friends, family. I was going to say I have cousins. I do have cousins, and I love them very much. But I just have people who are in my corner, who love me, and who are there for me. And they protect me as well. They look out for me. But anyway, I just wanted to share all these things. And I've got to go now. This is the end of this video. But I think you can tell, comparatively speaking, if you watch some of the other ones, the resolution, the ending on this one is so much different than all the others. Because all the other ones kind of led to a different place, a crazier place. They kind of led to more crazy things happening, or wild things happening, or whatever, just craziness happening, right? Well, this was a really big, significant ending, and a really happy time for me, because happy in that it was a huge sigh of relief. Getting my belongings was a huge sigh of relief. Getting the divorce eventually was a massive, massive, massive sigh of relief. Like, you don't have any idea how, oh my gosh, like, good freaking night. So relieved. So relieved. Anyway, I'll talk to you all later.